Hey folks, Trubie here once again to talk to you about Dice Masters. Gonna do things a little different this week. Instead of putting the spotlight on a character, we're gonna put the spotlight on a mechanic, Fabricate. For new players, I know this is a mechanic that might seem a little hard to get your head wrapped around, so we're gonna dive into it a little bit and talk about it. So first, this was introduced in Fair and Under Siege, the second D&D set, and it's a way for you to get golems primarily for no energy. So you can sacrifice your KO, not sacrifice, KO characters in order to purchase the clay golem for free. Yeah, so like a Frankenstein's monster or something, you're sacrificing or KOing the bodies of multiple characters in order to bring your monster to life. But yeah, so Fabricate will be on the card with two hyphenated numbers. For example, here on the clay golem, this was the first golem to really get meta attention. He has Fabricate 2-4. So the first number 2 is the number of characters that must be KO'd in order to fabricate him. The second number 4 is the minimum total required purchase cost of the two characters in order to fabricate them. So you could actually fabricate if you had 2 Battery battle stacks out. You could KO both Battery battle stacks to purchase the clay golem for free and move them to your use pile. So that works pretty well. You could also do like a 3 cost and a 1 cost. So if you had like Norman Osborn and a Chingua, that would work. You could also do a 4 cost and a sidekick. So if you had, we're going to talk about them a little later, dupe and a sidekick, you knock those out to purchase them. Or you can also actually go over the total. You can't go over the total number of characters, but you can go over the total number of purchase cost. So you could fabricate 2 3-cost characters. So if you had 2 Norman Osborns, you could knock both those out in order to fabricate a clay golem, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, that's the basics of the mechanic. But it gets better when you start building around it. So first off, you can fabricate as a source of ramp. So when you fabricate, you knock out 2 characters. That means you're rolling 6 dice the following turn. That could very easily get you to the strong 6-cost characters out there like the Gold Dragon, Mr. Fix-It, or Hulk here, who is a nasty little monster. So it's a good way to get to your win condition quickly. I actually used this a way back on trying to get the Purple Worm, who's a 7-cost, and I was pretty consistently able to get the Purple Worm on like turn 4 or 5. So it's a good way to ramp. But you can also use Fabricate to get useful KOs like during your turn. So if you have something that has a when KO'd effect, like here we have Pyro and Dupe. So Pyro, when he's KO'd, you deal damage equal to the number of bolts you have in your reserve, and Dupe, when he's KO'd, you capture a target opposing character until your next turn. So KO Dupe to fabricate with sidekick and capture one of your opponent's dice till the next turn, or just KO 2 dupes and you capture 2 characters and you are fabricating. So it's a really useful way to get those when KO'd effects. Also, if you have something that some other means or some other thing like when something else is KO'd. Like I know there's the Hulk from the Defenders team pack that I keep on trying to use. He's a 7-cost. Whenever one of your character dice is KO'd, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So if you're fabricating, knocking out 2 things, that's 2 damage that the Hulk's going to do. So yeah, it's a pretty handy way to do that. It also helps you when you need to get things off the field. So when you have like when fielded effects, you obviously need to get those characters off the field and rotate them back in to get their damage. So in this case, Norman Osborn and Firefly, after you field them and get their damage, sometimes it's hard to get them off, so you can't attack. They'll just jump block with sidekicks, and they'll be sitting there for a few turns. If you fabricate, so you knock them out, next turn you're rolling them and potentially refielding them to punish your opponent for more damage. So it's another great way to use fabricate. And if you don't get them for more damage, well, you just use the energy to buy more Norman Osborns or more Fireflies. But that's really the cool stuff with these old golems. But coming up in the Kree Invasion team pack, we have a new character in the Marvel Universe with Fabricate, the Supreme Intelligence. I think he's pretty awesome, and I'm hoping this Kree Invasion team pack is coming next month. We'll see. There hasn't been a firm date on it, but currently it's listed for August, I believe. So fingers crossed there. But yeah, so Fabricate finally coming to the Marvel Universe in Supreme Intelligence, and that's awesome. So he's a Fabricate 2/5, meaning you have to have 2 characters with a total purchase cost of 5. And he also has the added caveat that you have to have one of those characters have the Kree in its name. Well, the good news there is we have 2 very cool Kree characters in the team pack. So we have the Kree Soldier and the Kree Captain. See, that's Kree Soldier is a 2 cost. He has Swarm, which is one of my favorite abilities, and Infiltrate. And Infiltrate is another one that's pretty darn awesome. So that's pretty cool. And then we have the 3 cost Kree Captain, who gets +1/+1 for each villain die you have fielded. So if you notice, Kree Captain, Kree Soldier, Supreme Intelligence, all 3 villains. Put this on another to have like another villain, like I don't know, Norman Osborn. You're looking at a pretty nasty villain team already. So that's pretty good. But yeah, with the more villains you have out, that Kree Captain's going to get really nasty. But you can fabricate those 2 out after you purchase them, and you're buying a 7 cost of the Supreme Intelligence. But wait, this actually gets a little bit better. So yeah, Supreme Intelligence, you spent a 3 cost and a 2 cost to get a 7 cost. That is now in your use pile. So if you were to use something, say, I don't know, like Nowhere, you could go and immediately use Nowhere, return the Supreme Intelligence to his card, and get an 8 cost. And I don't know, what 8 cost should we get? Boom. How about this nasty, nasty Thanos? There he is. He has Overcrush and deals double Overcrush damage. That's nuts. He is just incredibly brutal, and yeah, I really love this card. So normally he's not going to be very reachable, but with Supreme Intelligence, basically you do the Kree Fabricate into Nowhere to Thanos, you've got an 8 cost, potentially on like turn 4 or 5, which is pretty great. So yeah, that Kree Invasion team pack is looking pretty darn nice. But that is all I wanted to talk about today for the Fabricate. It's a great mechanic, and it's finally coming to the Marvel Universe. So awesome! It's really exciting. But that's all I got for this week. Quick thanks to BrickRoller6 and DM Armada for the Kree Invasion pictures. Those Kree Invasion pictures came from the UK Nats, and so BrickRoller6 was there and got photos of them. Good job, sir. And then DM Armada compiled them, so it was easier to find them. But yeah, if you've got other great uses for Fabricate or anything else you'd like to see me put the spotlight on, feel free to leave a comment to let me know, or shoot me a message, whichever you like to do. And well, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys on Sundays.